3, 2, 1. I'll clap. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Mikkel here, back at it again with another podcast. This is our third episode of the visual format. I hope you guys are enjoying the visual format. We got an amazing show for you guys today. We got the topic of the day, new drivers. Why did I choose this topic? Why not? I feel like this podcast is one of those podcasts where you can hit on any topic and I can complain about it because I have a lot of complaints. My first complaint as far as new drivers goes, and this is no shade because, we all started somewhere. My first complaint as far as new drivers goes is what goes in my head when I'm driving and I see a new driver on the road. A lot of things are playing out in my head. Like, we all been in a scenario where we saw the sticker of the little kiddo, and he's a new driver, little Kenny, new driver Kenny. Let me plug you guys up real quick just before we get too deep in the pod. This time I actually brought a charger, so there will be no dying in the middle of the episode. I'm plugging you guys in as we speak. It should be simple. Hopefully I didn't mess you up too much. All right, now we're back. But yeah, what goes in my head when I see a new driver? A lot of things. Honestly, I just want to avoid them at all costs. And I don't want them to wreck into me, because new drivers are typically, they drive too fast. Because they don't know speed or whatever. So they just all know one speed. And I was the same way. I when I first got my first car, I used to run that thing, especially when I was going to work. I'd be hitting 70 and 80. But I had an old car. My car was from 2008. That car humbled me so quick. It was if you drive me fast, I will break down on you, Mikkel. You will have nothing to drive. So I literally had to learn pretty quickly, this is not the car to be running 70, 80, 90. So going too fast. They don't understand defensive driving. So they are very anxious behind the wheel. So they're scared to merge into lanes. They're scared to change lanes. They're nervous as far as just a whole bunch of stuff. They don't know how to drive fast. They don't know where and what they want to do. I don't know. And then especially when they new drivers have a bunch of people in the car, they're easily distracted. For me, when I was a new driver, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I actually got in a car accident one time because I wasn't able to judge the curb enough. So I couldn't tell where my car was. So I pretty much ran over the curb. I ran over a curb trying to make a turn, and my friends were following in front of me, and we were doing a little 2-car, 2-man, whatever. So I hit this curb, and all you hear is the boom boom. Wheel goes crazy. Wheel goes flying off the hinges. We ended up having to pull over and having to all fix the car together as a team. Maybe I'll talk about that in a future podcast. I don't know. But that was a crazy scenario. So it's we don't know to judge distance. There's a lot of things new drivers do. Oh, especially risk taking. New drivers don't have really good risk taking accessibility. So they don't really know, how do I say, if it's worth it or not. Say you're trying to change lanes and someone's going slow in front of you. So you end up driving on the opposite side of the road to try to pass them. I don't know what that's called in driving terms. But new drivers don't know how to judge that timing. So it's very dangerous. And right now we're in that season of July where a lot of people are getting their license, their learners. You're seeing a lot of new drivers on the road before high school and college and stuff. So I just want to hit on some of my complaints of new drivers. Get off the road. What are you doing? Why do they even exist? I don't know. I was once a new driver, so, I can't say too much. But it's just one of those things where it's it's just not a safe place to be. I really do not like new drivers. They drive so freaking reckless. It's ridiculous. And then, especially, you guys have, cousins or, younger siblings that are, trying to learn. For me, I have a cousin that's trying to learn and she keeps failing her learners. And then Makai or whatever, he keeps failing his learners. Now he just recently passed and I'm gonna hit on that. But for the younger driver, my cousin, I don't know. I just feel like the test is not as hard as people make it out to be. Like, the best way to go about learning the rules of the road, you go to your MVA. You ask the MVA lady, you be like, hey, excuse me, MVA lady, may I please have the manual? They're like, what do you want? What manual? May I please have the MVA driver's manual? They're free. So when you go to your local MVA, ask them for the free driver's manual. You have that manual, that needs to be your Bible. You need to read that manual every day forever until you learn how to drive and get your learner's permit. That needs to be your Bible, if, ands, or buts about it. You need to read that every day. You need to know what a merge sign is. You need to know what a stop sign is. You need to know what else? What is another sign? Yield sign. You need to know what a speed bump. What you're supposed to do when like a speed bump sign comes. Like, you need to know a whole bunch of things. And me personally, I just feel like it's a lot. It can be a lot, but that needs to be your Bible. That needs to be your thing that like gets you through life. My dad is coming. He might say something to me in the middle of the podcast. So if you guys see my dad, and that's why I was looking down because I was like, crap, my dad's home. So if you guys hear any cameo, that's my dad. I don't really feel like pausing it too much. I might pause, I might not. We'll see. But yeah. I tell them my one pet peeve is pausing in between the episodes. And I've just had to pause twice. So sorry if the podcast feels a little off track. I don't even know my password to my own iPad. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys didn't see that. But yeah. So now we're back. We're talking about my advice to new drivers. Your driver's manual needs to be your Bible, okay? You need to know all the signs. You need to know all the rules of the road. You need to know how to avoid police. Your best way to avoid police. Don't drive too fast on the highway, honestly. Like, if you're going on back road highways, that's like police city. They love the back roads. So, like, they'll definitely catch you on back roads if you're going, like, down a really straight road fast. They're probably going to be creeping behind a bush. Waze is your best friend. Me, personally, because I'm, like, already a pretty experienced driver, I don't really need Waze too much. But, like, for, like, the newbies out there, Waze is a really good app for, like, speed cameras and freaking, what else? Freaking knowing where police are and stuff. Waze, I suggest that. And then just GPS. You might know your area, but you don't know your area. So just so you don't get lost, use GPS, okay? But yeah, I don't understand these people with these learner's permit, people that are trying to get the learner's permit, and they make this test seem like it's like the MCAT. It's not the MCAT. You know, for me going into it, I was like, you know, if a million people did it, I can do it. And I'm a pretty smart guy, and, you know, I'm like, if he passed, you gotta have if he passed, I'm a pass mentality. Like, you can't just be nervous. It's not a hard test. It's really not. Like, for me, I don't want to boast. I don't want to be that guy, but I actually passed my learners first try. I passed my learners first try. I did so well that they stopped my test in the middle because they were like, oh, he knows his stuff. So I didn't even have to answer all 25 questions. I think they stopped me at like question 20 because I answered 20 questions straight. They was like, this dude knows his stuff. Get him out of here. And the only reason I was able to be that good is because I harnessed my emotions. You know, I don't really fold under pressure too much like some people. I harness my emotions, and I also use this app. There's a MBA app where you can take practice tests. And like, when I tell you guys, the year I had took my learners, I probably took at least 100 practice tests. Like I knew that test inside and out. There was no question that would trick me. And it even came with pictures. So I'd memorize the pictures and I would try to memorize the answer with the picture that correlated. So the point where I didn't even need to read the entire question to answer that question. So I would just see the picture and I'd be like, oh, that's hydroplaning. Oh, that's speed camera. Oh, that's construction on the road. Oh, that's speed bump. Like I'm just fast with it. You need to be fast with it. And if you're not fast with it, you're not ready to drive. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the older you get, the harder it is to learn how to drive. Like if you're already 24, if you're 20 to 24 watching this and you don't have your learners, you might as well just not even learn how to drive at all. Because why are you that old and you don't know how to drive? There are people 16 getting their learners. My little cousin, she got hers at like 16 and 9 months. She was one of those. 15 and 9 months. Is it 15 or 16 and 9 months? It's one of those two. I want to say it's 15 and 9 months, but she got hers super young. So I'm like, she's driving? How? She's like 5 years younger than me. Like, that's insane. But then I was thinking to myself, because I got mine. I want to say I got mine like right in the middle of my senior year, like a little bit before my senior year. Yeah, the summer before my senior year started of high school, I got my learners, and then I used that whole summer, the whole school year to learn how to drive. So that's how I did it. So like teenager, you need to be a teenager with your learners. You don't need to be getting old in age, because when you're old in age, you become stuck in your ways. Excuse me. I just burped. You become stuck in your ways. And I feel like it's really hard to teach somebody that's stuck in their ways a skill. Like the same thing can apply to like Spanish or like another language. You teaching a 45-year-old Duolingo Spanish compared to like you teaching little Jorge at 2 years old Spanish. Who do you think is going to learn Spanish quicker? Little Jorge knows all the Spanish and he's bilingual because he learned English and Spanish at the same time, whereas you barely know English at 45. It's not a good look. So I just feel like the younger you are, the better it is to learn how to drive, because when we're young, we're like sponges. We're just absorbing all the information. That's why, when I have kids, I might even teach them how to drive at like 14, so that when they turn 15 in 9 months, they already have their learners. They're not my problem anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll have a cool life, because I don't know, me personally, I was one of those kids that used to always miss the bus. And I would have to go to my parents and be like, hey, parents, wake up. I missed the bus. I'm your problem now. And like, they used to always get so mad at me. So to have that luxury of just take my keys and go, I don't know, just take the car, leave me alone. I'm living luxury. And then also, because like they can drive themselves to practice, they can take themselves to whatever after school programs they're in. So like from like sophomore to senior year, they're not your problem anymore. You don't have to worry about taking them anywhere. And by then they're already 3-year drivers, where some people don't even have the learners at 20. I know people 19, 20 years old right now sitting right here today watching this video that can't drive. And they don't know look at driving. So you gotta get it early. You gotta get it in early. You gotta get that scab off. You gotta rip that little driving scab off. You gotta be determined. So you can be one of these girlies out here with your Jeep wagons, your G-Wagons and your Jeeps that your parents bought you. And you're driving and all your friends are like, oh, they got the nicest whip in school. You got to be the kid with the nicest whip in school. You guys are going to Boba. Is it Boba tea? That's the new thing. Back in my day, we went to Amish market. That was our spot, the Amish market. But nowadays, everybody's like, let's go get boba. Let's go get boba tea from the mall. So, go get your boba tea from the mall with your friends. Like, do that. That's the thing. And have your best life. But, that learners is the first step. That's step one of becoming a good overall driver. You see what I'm saying? Step two is these people. Let me explain these people to you guys. There's these people, and they bother me. They irk my soul, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. I have my learners. Now it's time to bother every human being I know that knows how to drive. These are those kind of people that, can I drive your car? Can we go driving? Can we go driving? Can we go driving? I'm going to give you guys 3 scenarios of people in my life that have been bothering me. And I'm going to put their names out there because I don't care. So, first scenario, my older brother, okay? Andrew. Andrew, he literally just, like, when I got my learners, I used to pick him up. I was a chauffeur. I was a slave for, like, we don't talk about this, but he used to give me gas money, but I was a slave. You know, I used to pick him up from Lowe's back when he worked at Lowe's. And I would go from Lowe's to the house and blah, blah, blah. And that was my routine. And it was okay because my college at the time was near his job. So I would just go to school after and like do some studying or, just go about my life, And that was my life for like the first 2 years of driving, right? So it was fine. And then he got his learners over the pandemic. And then it became a situation where he was still going to work because he was an essential worker. But now he's bothering me. He's like, "Can I go driving?" Or because he used to go early. So, oh my gosh, this man used to open. We would have to leave the house at 6 a.m. He'll wake me up. He'd be like, "Kel, wake up. Can we go driving?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, I remember one time, usually what I would do is I'd pick him up and he would tell me to get out the car so he could drive and take us home. And I'm like so nervous. Like, literally, it used to be such a nerve-wracking thing. And he would just stand there and like he wouldn't move until I got out the car. So that was how I taught him how to drive. But it's one of those scenarios where it's like I had to teach my older brother how to drive. A lot of people can't say that, but I can say that. And he's probably going to be mad at me if he sees this episode. But I don't know if he watches these podcasts. He will find out if he watches it today. You're going to find out today. But Andrew did not know how to drive for a long time. And I had to teach him. And it was just such an annoying situation. And it was one of those things where it's like, because he's the oldest and he has like that access to me, it was so hard saying no to him. You know what I mean? Next scenario, I have a coworker, Mariama, right? Mariama, sweet girl, super cool. She doesn't know how to drive for years. She's always Ubering everywhere, Uber everywhere. She's Ubering everywhere. Eventually, Mariama, she's like, she comes to work, she's smiling. I'm like, what are you smiling about? What do you want? She's smiling. She's like, guess what? And I'm like, what? I got my learners. And for anybody that knows, like, when you have that friend that Ubers everywhere and they finally get their learners, they're going to let you know about it. You're going to definitely find out about them having their learners. So like, she's letting me know about it. And she's like, all right, well, when you going to teach me how to drive? When you going to teach me how to drive? And for her, it's a little bit easier saying no because it's not that blood relation. We're friends and everything. But it's one of those things where, like, I'm not afraid to tell my friend no. I used to be one of those friends that used to always say yes and let my friends drive my car. But then when I got into, like, my first accident or whatever, after that, I just became very cautious because they're not on the insurance. And we're going to talk about that later. They're not on the note. And if they crash that shit, you're SOS because they don't got no money to buy you a new car. So, you shouldn't even be letting your friends drive your car, period. I don't care if you want to teach them or not, but that's neither here nor there. So for Mary, she used to come to me. She'd be like, "Kelly, we gonna teach me how to drive. We gonna teach me how to drive. I need to learn. Let's go. And I'm just like, so about that. We're gonna rain check it. We're gonna rain check that, and we're gonna see where that go. We're gonna rain check it. Put it in the book. We're gonna put a pin on it, and we're gonna get back to that. And she used to always be like, all right. And then after every shift, she'd be like, all right, Mikhail, when we driving. The rainy day, I heard the rainy day going to be today, not tomorrow. So I think we're going to rain check it again today. And this would be always like a scenario. I would always try to come up with like a scenario of like what I'm going to tell her today to get her out of begging me to take her to practice driving. I ended up having like 30 rainy days before like the season ended. And, it was like, because our job is kind of seasonal. So like our job, we're in like the off season now. But yeah, so I was able to avoid teaching her how to drive. So that was a win for me. Unfortunately, Mariama. Hopefully Mariama is learning from like one of her family members. I used to always tell her, like, why are you not asking your family members? Like, that's the thing. If you want me to teach you how to drive, I need to be like the last resort. Like you needed to ask your grandma, your uncle, your mom, your auntie, your brother, your mother, your sister. Like, you need to ask everybody. If everybody in your humanly life tells you no, then you can ask Mikkel, and I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll hit you with the think about it. And the thing about it, it's not as bad as it seems. Like, a lot of people hear the think about it and they just seem like, oh, he's not serious. He's not gonna do it. He's not about it. He don't love me. Like, he's playing me. He's jacking me. My think about it is actually a 50-50 ratio. Like, I actually do think about it during either like a work shift or while I'm doing my homework. I'm actually thinking about it. Unlike most people where it's like a think about it's like a no, but an easy way to say no. It's like a soft no. I actually do think about it. So anybody that ever gets I'll think about it from me for like a party or a birthday last minute thing and they want me to go, I actually thought about it. I actually did think about it. So, that's the thought that counts. The more you know, the more you know. But yeah, like, Mariama, I thought about it and, we weren't ever able to get to it. And that was scenario number 2. Now, scenario number 3 is Makai. Let's talk about Makai. So, Makai recently got his learners. I don't normally do edits, but I'll insert a picture here of my reaction to Makai getting his learners. That's the only edit you'll probably ever see on this podcast in life. I just had to put that there because that was just one of those moments where it was like, this man has failed me so many times. Whether that's we get to the place, he doesn't have his ID. We get to the driving place, he doesn't have a passport, live passport. He gets to the place, he doesn't have his birth certificate. We've probably gone to the MVA 10 times before he actually sat for the actual test. And when he sat for the test, he failed the first time, and then the second time he passed. So I've probably been in the MVA about 35 times in my life for reasons outside of me needing to be at the MVA. This is not my thing. This is for him. I don't like helping people. That's not what gets me up in the day. Like, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I have to be a doctor. I shouldn't say I don't like helping people. Don't put that into context, okay? Please, I really hope when it's time for me to actually transfer to like med schools and stuff, they don't like go back and like, let's look up, what he's like, let's see some stuff. And they're going to see the transcripts and be like, he doesn't like helping people? Oh, interesting. No. Listen, I like helping people. I'm just lazy. That's not good either. I'm a work in progress. Nobody's perfect. I'm a work in progress. So, I don't know. Helping Makai has been a lot. Like, I don't know. I have limits. I don't mind helping, but I have my limits. Like, I want to say after the first 5 times of taking him up there, then he started getting into like my limits, So I would say that. Let me not say I'm lazy. I just have my limits. So we finally get this man to the MVA. I'm nervous as hell. It's freaking been 35 times we've been up here. This is the 36th. And he's on his A game. He's showing me this test. He's showing me hundreds every time. I'm like, oh, he ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, ready. Like, we go in there. I'm like, you got this, champ. He got his birth certificate printed out. He's 19 now, so he doesn't even have to worry about like needing a parent up there. Cause like another thing, oh my gosh, if you're trying to take your younger sibling up to the MVA and you're not their guardian, you legally cannot sign for them to take their tests. So if they're a minor, you have to come with your parent or your legal guardian and you have to show like documentation. Like they're real on the P's and Q's with that stuff. So like all the times I took this little boy up there when he was in his teens trying to get him to get his learners and they was like, are you his father? And I like one time I think I lied and I was like, you know what? I am his father. I'm taking him up here so many damn times. Might as well be his father. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot with this boy. It's been a whole lot of, the boy's finally 19, so he doesn't need a guardian to go up with him. So we got up to the place. He's talking his ish. He's handling his business. He don't even need me to like, direct him where to go. He don't need me to, like, he's been there. He's done. He knows the system. He's already in their system. So he's already in their system. We get there. He goes in the back. I'm nervous. I'm sitting with all the other parents and we're all just sitting there waiting for our kids to come out, from the testing center. And eventually my kid comes out and he's smiling. And I'm like, what are you smiling about? And then he says he passed. And when I tell you the amount of euphoria that came over my body when I saw that that boy passed that test, like literally, we have been battling for years to get this boy through the path, through the threshold of passing. So when I saw Makai pass his learners, I didn't know what to believe. Like I literally fell to my knees in cries of joy that this man passed. I've never been so happy in my life that he passed his learners. If you heard a slam, that was my dad in the background. Shout out to him. But yeah, so he passes his learners and I'm crying. And then after that, I was like, I should take him to Chick-fil-A. I should give you all the prizes. You did it, man. Like, you did it. You did it. You did it. We're so proud of him. I put him on Instagram. I'm shouting him out on IG. Like, hey, shout out to the little nigga Makai. Shout out to the little nigga. You know, he passed his test. I told all y'all fucking haters he was gonna do it. Y'all ain't believe me. Like I was going on live. I was like, I'm gonna get you a drink tonight. We're gonna buy you a bottle, nigga. We're gonna buy you a bottle. I ended up doing none of that stuff, but I was very happy for him. I was so happy. After all the joys, reality hit me. Once reality hit me, I realized I'm gonna have to teach this boy how to drive. No shade to our father, but our dad is a busy man. He has his own life. So I've had to pick up a lot of the responsibilities as his older brother for like a caregiver. Now I'm starting to kind of dip off on him so that he can like kind of gather himself and become his own caregiver. But it hit me that I'm going to have to teach this boy how to drive. So right now Makai has he was already annoying because he needed rides all the time. But now he's another level of annoying because now he wants to drive my car. And I'm like, bruh, if you break my car, I'm going to be screwed. I'll have nothing. So I used to always give him the excuse. I was like, oh, you need to buy your own car and then practice with that. And I'll just take you out to the track. But then I realized it's going to take him a while to buy his own car because he's not the best with saving money. So I was like, all right, you're going to need to give me gas money. So then I realized he has a job so he can actually give me gas money. So that's not an excuse I can use anymore. So then I was like, I got schoolwork to do. Like I had to come up with some excuse to get out of taking him. But eventually it's going to get to a point where it's like, I'm not in school anymore. And he's going to be like, I still need to know how to drive, Michael. I still need to know how to drive. Like what's a good voice for him? Can I learn how to drive? Can you teach me how to drive? Like that's his voice for me. You know, that's what I hear whenever I hear him. He's like, Kel, can we go driving today? And I'm like, can you take me to driving? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I know that's like 2 hours out of my day, out of my busy life, that are going to be gone. I have to take this boy driving. Like, it's one of those annoying things where it's like when a sibling lives with you and they have that access to you to where they can ask you, like, can we go driving? Or whatever. It's like, how can I avoid this? How can I escape this? What have I done to deserve this torture? That's Makai for me right now. And I'm trying my best to, stay the course and be his teacher. But I told him I'm not a teacher. And Makai, he's an anxious driver. Like, what I've noticed, because we went on the track one time so far, he's very anxious. We actually almost crashed twice when I took him driving, Not that bad, but he did okay. We went to a church. We drove around a church. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't feel safe in the car with him. I always have to ask him, I'm like, are we safe? All right, I don't know. I just don't feel safe with him in the car. Next topic, my advice to people that have their learners and want me to teach them. I already talked about that. What is it like to finally get your license? Oh, okay. So, what is it like to finally get your license and know how to drive? It's actually really fun to learn how to drive. Like, once you finally go through your driving test and you get your learners, you go to your driving test, you get your license, and you finally have a car or whatever. I just skipped so many steps, but once you buy a car, because for me, I got my license and I ain't had no car, so it was very much, what do I drive? What am I driving? So it's one of those things where it's like, definitely make sure you have your monies so that you can go straight to that dealership and get that car. We're gonna talk about that next, but what do they call it? What is it like just having your license? Having your license to me is freedom. Having wheels is one of those things where it's like, once you have wheels, you ain't never gonna want to give them wheels back. Like, there is nothing better than being able to just, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go grab some food. Wanna go to a party? I'm gonna go get in my car, go to a party. Like, I wanna go to Six Flags, get in my car, go to Six Flags. I've never done that before, but I should call it. If I was younger, these are the things I would be going to because you have that freedom. Like having those wheels, like being able to go thrifting whenever you want with your friends, being able to go to work on time because you can leave on your time. You're not on another person's time. All you people watching this video that don't have your own car and you have to wait for your Uber, you have to wait for your parents to muster the energy to be like, all right, let me take this kid to work because I done brought this kid into this world, so they're my responsibility, unfortunately. Like, you are a burden. You are a burden. You are a effing burden. Do you want to live your whole life and be a burden? After this podcast, you need to go to the NBA and get that booklet and get that effing license now. I'm not playing with you. You hear me? You are a burden. And all you New Yorkers, you can't live anywhere but New York because nobody else has a subway system like New York where you could just go to work, you can go to work, and you can go to da-da-da, you can go to this, you can go to Tobago, you can go to your chopped cheese. I don't know if that's New York or Philly, but you can go to all those things without a car. Nowhere else in the world is like that. If you want to live in Maryland or DC, well, DC, you can do a little bit of moving around, but if you want to live in a rural area besides a city, you need your license. So all you New Yorkers that are trying to be like, oh, I don't need a license. I don't need a license. I'll learn to drive. Never. You're going to need a license to get through life. You want to go on a vacation? You want to Uber all around vacation in whatever country, Jamaica or something? No, you want to drive around Jamaica. Get your license. Get your license. It's really fun. It's really fun, especially when like all your friends have license and y'all can be like, all right, we're all going to meet up. We're all going to meet up at the bowling alley. We're all going to meet up at what's another fun place people like to go to? The mall, right? Yeah, we're all gonna meet up to the mall. I never met up. Actually, I did meet up at the mall one time with Michaela and Nicole, which was really fun. And I'm gonna do a vlog with them. Well, I gotta edit that vlog. It's already recorded and stuff. But all meet up at the mall. Like, I don't know. For me, a long time when I didn't have wheels, I used to miss a lot of events. And I had really bad FOMO because of that, because like both my parents worked and they were super busy and I understood that. So I never gave them a hard time about it. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm a social butterfly. So like there was a lot of parties I missed, unfortunately, because my parents weren't able to take me to these parties. So when I finally got my wheels, I vowed I'd never miss another party again. So I was going to festivals. I was going to all the music festivals. I was going to Broccoli City. I was going to see Kendrick Lamar. I was going to see not J. Cole, but I was seeing Tyler, Creator. I was seeing I went to the water festival. Like I was going everywhere, anywhere, like anywhere you think of. I've been there, done that. I'm a city boy. Like I was outside, like having wheels. We're outside. You can still be outside with Uber money and stuff, but it's a lot more expensive. We'll kind of do a cost to benefit, weigh in after on the next segment. But just that freedom, it's something you can't even buy. You can't even put a number to it. Like just having that freedom. Like I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I want to go to the beach. So I'm going to go to the beach. Like stuff like that is what I mean when I say having a car is priceless. Like having the license is priceless because you just can't match it. You can't match it. Me personally, what's my favorite thing about having a car? I would say being able to be anywhere at a moment's notice. Like if I want to go to the gym, at the gym. If I want to go to the court, at the court. If I want to go do this or that, there and there and there. Early Mikkel used to always love being whippy, 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 whip everywhere, whip everywhere, whip everywhere. As I got older, though, I slowly started hating driving. Like, I started having a love-hate relationship with driving, especially when you have like those near-death situations, because you're always gonna have near-death situations, whether that's driving home and you're tired. Like one time when I was tired, I hit a mailbox and I had damaged this man's mailbox. I should have just just ran, like didn't stop. But I ended up stopping and I got the man's information and I gave him a little bit of money and, offered to fix it. He was like, don't worry about it, I'll fix it. Da 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 da. Cool. So that happened. Or just freaking, just those long drives where you just have no energy. Or just like sitting in traffic. Like, oh my gosh, I hate sitting in traffic, especially stop and go traffic. It's just like, it's so tiring. And if you're already tired and you gotta sit in stop and go traffic, you might as well just pull off to a Target and go fall asleep, because it's just too much. And then like those random expenses, like when your car breaks down and it's just like, bruh. Or just, it's just annoying having to park it, like when you're in the city and you're like, all right, we're going to be in the city. Cool, cool, cool. Let me go park my car. But you got to make sure you're parking it in a safe place, because the last thing you want to do is you go back to your car. Like, literally, I probably had my car towed, and in total, twice, I probably paid about $600 for, like, just my car being towed. Maybe even more. No, I had it towed 3 times. Wow. I had it towed once in Towson when I went to go out there, just because I had it towed at UMD because I went to a party, and then I got towed that morning. And then where else did I go? And then at my house, I had my car in the back of my house, and someone had called the tow because they thought it was like a junk car. This is back when I crashed it. But I didn't, it wasn't a junk car. It was my car, had a tarp over it, and it was going to freaking go to the freaking mechanic during the week. It was the weekend. So like whoever called the tow truck, F you, but thank you at the same time, because that tow truck actually took it to a mechanic, and I actually had the mechanic fix it, which is kind of like a free tow. Like I chopped it up as like, when I got my car towed, it was the equivalent of me calling a tow truck and having it delivered, because it just the tow truck place happened to be beside a mechanic, and the tow truck driver recommended me to the mechanic, and that mechanic's the one that brought my car back to life. It's kind of weird how things work like that. But yeah, and like this guy's been fixing my car ever since. Like, this is my guy. Everybody needs a guy that can like fix their car. Like, that's their guy. And he actually works super fast. So if you live in the Upper Marlboro, Largo, PG area, and you need a mechanic, hit me a DM and I'll give you my guy's number. Because he actually, if you saw how bad my car was totaled, he's the truth. He's the truth. I tell you now, he can fix everything except for ACs, but he can fix everything else. If your car, and it's funny, because he's a Latino guy, so every time he fixes my car or whatever, and I come to pick it up, it's always on like Spanish radio and stuff, and I always think that's so funny. So like after he fixes it, I like to keep my car on Spanish radio just to like pretend like I'm in a different place. I don't even know how we got to this topic, but yeah, I despise purchasing my car for like, maintenance and stuff, like general maintenance. Oil changes are okay. Go to Jiffy Lube, get your little $50 oil change or whatever. But like nothing's worse than like you go to your car, you get your bag of groceries, and you see a check engine light, or you just like your freaking tire is like low. Like just stuff that's like, bruh, or I was not planning on this, like your brakes need work, like anything. Like I just hate unexpected expenses. It's like the death of me, because like, say you don't have your money saved up, what are you gonna do then, buddy? What are you gonna do then, Scott? What are you gonna do, Scott? You're gonna do nothing. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna be depressed, because it's like, what the F? Like literally, I hate that. I really do hate that. Like, it's the worst. Anything else I hate about driving? Besides that, traffic and freaking unexpected expenses and, people asking you for rides. It's not that bad. If they give you gas money, then I don't make really a big deal about it. Yeah, asking for rides is like a 50-50 kind of thing. It's like I'll see, like I'll think about it. That I would say asking for driving for me falls under the I think about it category because honestly, if you give me gas money or we're close enough, I'll just give you a drive. I don't give a fuck. But if we're not that close and you're asking me for a ride, then it's like you've entered that 50-50. It's a rainy day. It's a rainy day. It's a rainy day. I don't think I'm going to be out. No thanks. Yeah. No, thank you. New drivers will never understand these plights yet. They'll learn it as they go along, and that's okay. Another thing I hate about driving, two things actually, is I one time almost hit a kid. And I didn't do it on purpose. Driving in school zones will be the death of me. I swear. Honestly, I feel like driving in school zones is probably one of the most hectic things a human can do in their life. Because if I hit a kid right now, there goes my life. There goes my future. There goes anything I would have ever hoped and dreamed of doing down the drain. Just like that. Drop of the hat. Top of the step sound in their mind. Because that's how quick it can happen. Driving in school zones and potholes. I hate potholes. First, for driving in school zones, I'm going to give you guys a quick story. One time, I was taking Makai to school because he missed his bus, per usual, right? Taking him to school, cool. Drop him off, sayonara, never see you again. As I'm leaving this man's school area, I see a bunch of kids near like a row of farms. I'm driving forward and I see them all hanging around the row of farms at a light. There's a truck on the side parked, and there are a bunch of kids over there in Royal Farms. So as I'm driving, approaching the stoplight or whatever, a kid proceeds to run behind the parked, it's like a big old truck, runs straight behind the parked truck, not in like a crosswalk, just right in the road. When I tell y'all, Jesus took the brakes. I had no inclination that there was a kid in the road until I seen him in the road, and he just looked at me. And let me tell y'all why it really made me mad. Why did this little boy have a hoodie on? So he was blocking both sides, so he had no peripheral vision. So he just literally walked in the road as if like shit's sweet and there's not incoming cars coming, and he wasn't just coming behind a freaking Mack truck that was literally blinding him. Till I didn't see him till I saw him. And it was that quick of a second I had to hit my brake. But if someone saw that and all the little kids were looking like, oh, they were all like gasping because they thought I almost hit him. And I almost did hit him. But it's just one of those things where it's like, bruh, get the fuck out the road. What is wrong with you? I made me so mad. I was like, I am never taking Makai to school again. I'm never driving into this shitty ass school zone. I was so pissed. I wanted to just get out the car and yell at him what the hell is wrong with you? You don't wear a freaking hoodie walking into incoming traffic behind a fat ass truck, and you're a little ass kid, so you can't even see him over the truck. So you can't see him till you see him, and he's in the middle of the road. You guys see how scared I was? I was so mad I almost hit that little boy. Fuck. Bro, you almost lost your life, kid. On Crip. Don't ever do that shit again. I was so mad at that boy. After that, I was just driving in silence because I was just so mad. And then another thing I really hate about driving is freaking potholes. All y'all with cars, y'all don't understand. All y'all that don't have cars, y'all don't understand. Potholes are literally the death of you. Because if you hit a bad enough pothole, there goes your wallet, there goes your pockets. Were you planning on going a trip this month? Hell no. You gonna have to pay that big whatever it's gonna cost to get your brake, transmission, suspension, or your tire, or your rim. All that stuff is pricey, especially when you have an expensive car. That shit is super pricey. No ma'am. I don't have money. We're college kids. We're broke college students. There's no money. Bruh. Oh my gosh, I hate potholes. One time I hit this one pothole. When I tell you my car was speaking to me, it was boosh. And then the car was you could hear a something thumping. And I'm it was that pothole. I hate potholes with a passion. I hit a pothole one time that was so bad, I was literally looking up how I could sue the city. Because I was there's no reason why that freaking sinkhole should be in the middle of the road and you're illegally allowing cars to drive over it as if it's not a literal sinkhole in the road. You want me to go to the mechanic. You're trying to boost the economy. You are using me as a pawn. I'm a pawn to you. Like, I hate potholes. Those are the reasons why I hate driving. You will learn to hate them too because they're going to break your pockets. Our next segment is your pockets. Get ready to pull out some money, people, because it's going to get real expensive in here. And we ain't talking about Gucci bags and Apple Watches and AirPods. We're talking about car expenses. Let me get y'all the big three. The big three car expenses: insurance, car note, gas. Depending on your car, depending on where you got to go, you're getting gas about 2 times, 3 times a week. Right now, gas for me to fill up my tank, I want to say like $27. Back in the day, it used to be like $20. $20 used to get me where I need to go. Like, literally. Nowadays, 27, damn near $30 to get me where I need to go. And, like, it's a grip, but for me, you got to get gas. Like, all y'all people complaining about, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. You ever have I'm going to be honest. You ever have that broke friend that has a car, but because they don't have any gas money, they can't go on moves with you? And it's just like such a buzzkill because it's like, how do you not have money for gas? Like, you got to get gas. Like, gas is a non-negotiable. Like, literally, I will be down bad on everything, but you will never catch me with no fucking gas. Ever. Because you got to get gas. Like, you just got to get gas. I don't care how much inflation is or this market or that market. It's just one of those non-negotiables where, like, you're going to be getting gas to the day you die. So it's like you saving that $2 because you're like, oh, I can't get no gas. Like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not always have gas money on deck? Like, you should always have gas money forever. Like, not having gas money is such a turnoff, such a broke boy shit. Like, don't even come near me if you don't got no gas money. Please, because I will literally just look at you and not even ever want to hang out with you or associate myself with you. Because, like, who doesn't have gas? Or who doesn't have gas money? If you expecting a rise, you don't got no gas money, get out my face. Get out my face. I'm not playing with you. Like, bruh, not having gas money is another, like, pet peeve where it's like, what do I look like? A simp? Like, no. Bruh, gas is a non-negotiable off top. So for me, I probably spend about 25. I try to stretch that out throughout the week. And if I got to spend another 25 at the end of the week, I got to spend another 25 at the end of the week. I typically like to get gas in increments. So, like, I'll wait for it to get to, like, the bare drop, and then I'll refill it to, like, the top. And some people like to get half a tank and then go back to the gas station, but I feel like that's kind of repetitive because you don't want to be one of those people that's, like, always at the pump, always at the gas station, always at the gas station. I try to limit my gas station use to as low as possible, especially if you're a girl, because gas stations can actually be kind of dangerous if you're a girl. Because you don't want no guy creeping on you. He asks you, baby girl, let me pump your gas. Hey, baby, let me get your gas. And never get gas in the hood. You know, that's the worst. Getting gas in the hood. Like, I remember one time, it's a horror story. Like, I'm new driver or whatever. And this guy, he's like coming up to me. He's like, hey, your car's not straight. Let me get in your car and fix it for you. And, like, if I was an idiot, I would have let the guy come and get in my car and fix it for me. But I was like, nah, I'm good. It was like those old heads that just hang around the gas station, you know, got nothing else to do all day. And I'm like, what the fuck? Get away from me. Like, me nowadays, because, like, I gave that man a conversation. I was like, nah, I'm okay. Me nowadays, I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like, me, older Mikhail, would have just, like, been like, get the fuck away from me. Like, I would have flashed something. Like, I don't even got a stick on me. But I would have, like, showed my phone like this. Like, get away from me, boy. Like, I'm not playing with these people. Hell no. Like, I would have literally flashed something at him, like, to scare him off, because, like, I don't need no grown man helping me fix my car. Hell I look like? Like, that's another thing. Like, when you a driver, you got to be a strong driver. You got to be an offensive driver. Not none of these scared drivers out here, scared to change lanes, scared to go in roundabouts. I used to be scared of roundabouts. Nowadays, I actually like roundabouts. Roundabouts are the little circle things. We have to merge into it, but there's cars coming, so you have to wait for them, and then you merge in. That's how you do a roundabout for all you rookie drivers out there that don't know how to do roundabouts. You're welcome. But yeah, still don't know how to park though. But as far as gas goes, you want to limit your gas station uses to as little as possible. Especially if you're a girl, you don't want to be going in these ghetto ass gas stations, getting harassed by these ghetto ass people. Just everybody mocking at you, gawking at you, da 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 da, crackheads at night. Typically, I don't like getting gas at night, but I will if I have to. But it has to be a well lit gas station, not one of these dimly lit gas stations. And for me personally, I don't like the card readers, so I like to go into actual talk to like the like custodian working the cashier box. I like to go talk to him and tell him like, oh, 25 on 5. Like I always get 25 on 5 or like 25 on this. Like that's just a good number for me as far as gas. Like I feel like $25 will get you out of harm's way. And who doesn't have $25? Like if you don't have $25, you have bigger issues than having a car, because here comes your next expense. Car insurance. Every month you own that car, you have to pay car insurance. Some car insurance may be cheaper or more expensive depending on the type of car. For everybody that listens to this podcast, most people that listen to this podcast are young people. I have a couple, older adults, that listen to the podcast too. But most of the young people that watch this podcast, I already know we spending a bag. We are spending upwards to $300, $200, $250. Some people $350. That's not even car note. That's just car insurance. Because let me tell you, these insurance people, they look at young people and they're like, oh, I'm going to run his pockets. I'm going to run this boy pockets. They're like, oh, you 17? You don't got no driving experience? You don't got no history of accidents? I don't care. I'm going to run your pockets because you 17. Like, that's easy money. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, they just be doing young people so dirty, and it don't make no sense. Like, you didn't even let me get in an accident yet. You already trying to run my pockets. Like, they do not like young people. Like, the way the system works, they're going to start you off. I'm going to put you, like, if I'm an insurance people and I'm talking to a young driver, you a young driver, I'm like, this is how I'm going to do you. All right, so you 17? Cool. I'm going to start you at like, 350 insurance, right? And then when you turn, you turn 35, then we're going to think about lowering your rates. So I'm going to probably put you at like, maybe 250 at 25. And then when you turn 40, then I'm going to put you at like 125. So for 20 years, you've been paying $350 off top to this insurance. That's not even including your car note, which is the next big expense. Like, that's what I'm saying. These insurance people are freaking sharks. They're freaking leeches. They're freaking assholes. And these are the same people that when you actually get in an accident and it's time for you to call them up for, like, assistance, they're like, oh, who are you again? Like, who are you? Like, they be quick to take that money out their account. But when you actually need some money from them, they be real iffy with the pockets. Like, they be acting like, I don't know who you are. Like, nah, bruh. Like, you ain't had this energy when I was giving y'all the payments on time. Like, y'all never was like, oh, you can have this month off. You can take this month off, Mikhail. You don't really got, you've been treating us with love. You've been paying on time. You can have this month off. Y'all ain't had none of that courtesy. So I ain't gonna give y'all no courtesy either. Like, F these insurance companies. F insurance. It's a joke. It's a scam. I hate insurance. You got to pay it, though. It is what it is. Out of our control. Gas, it is what it is. Out of our control. Last big expense is your car note. Car notes are interesting. As I become an older driver, I'm learning more about car notes and how you can either work the system to your benefit, or you can just avoid it altogether, or you can do a little bit of both. For me, the best way to work a system is if you have good, what is it called? Not insurance rate. If you have good credit history, if you have a good credit score, then you get a better rate on your insurance. And the better your rate on your better rate on your car note, the less money you have to pay every month. So if you have a good, I'm going to say it again, because I probably said it a little bit weird. But if you have a good, and follow me here. If you have a good credit score, you will have a lower rate on your car note. So that's less money you have to pay per month, because your credit score shows that you have good credit history, which shows that you have good with money. So banks are more likely to loan you money at a lower interest rate because they know they're going to get their money back. That was a mouthful for all you young people. Go back, put a time slot, and watch that 10 times. Write everything down I just said. Basically, what that means is The better your credit score, that could be the difference between you paying $250 a month on your car note for a 60-month car note, which is like 4 or 5 years, to somebody paying $350 a month on their car note. That's a lot of money on top of insurance if you're a young driver. So now you're paying about upwards of $600 a month just on your car, not including gas, probably another $100 a month. So now you're paying about $700 a month for a car. Now, if you got it like that, it's not that bad. But us broke college students, we don't got it like that. So that's a lot of money for us. So yeah, like car insurance, car note, like that stuff be bogus. Like I don't know. One thing about me is like when I used to see like my younger friends that had cars, because I got a hoopty. Me personally, I have a hoopty. But when I see my friends with like nice cars, and I'm like, how do they have that car? Like, how do they own that car? Like, it's so expensive, so expensive. I had to realize that a lot of these people out here that are driving these brand new cars, fresh AC, brand new Nissan, super nice, super nice. These people are paying these cars off. They do not own these cars. These cars are not paid off. And I had to realize that, like, they're tied up in these banks. These banks got them on these crazy-ass interest rates. Got them noosed to the neck like this. Like, they literally got no sort of, like, financial freedom because it's like they got their money getting sucked out every which way. Like, money going here, money going there, money going there. Like, that's no way to live. Like, especially, like, because now, if you are tied down to a car, there's no leaving that job that you hate because it's like, I got car notes to pay. I got bills to pay. I got things to pay, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't pay your car note, they're going to repo your car. And then all that payment you was doing to build your car off and stuff, that's kapoof. Kapoof. Because they're going to get their money back. They need their car back. So I can go sell it and get my money back. Bank got to recoup their money. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, like for young people, I would just, like my dad, he told me, he was like, don't even worry about car note. Just get, hoopty, keep it pushing. Get yourself a nice little hoopty, 2008, 2009 Chrysler. You know what I'm saying? Get your little... I'm going to give y'all the best brands for cars right now. Best brands for hoopties is Toyota, Kia, Nissan, and Honda. Toyota, Kia, Nissan, Honda, Lexus. Those are the best top five. Top five. Outside of that, and you're going to start getting expensive. BMWs, as money pits. All that's money pits. You don't want to get into that. Kia, Toyota, Honda. Not Hyundai. They're built cheap and they're easy to steal. But I said two more, but yeah. If you can find those, get those. Because those are good cars. Banging cars. Like I have a Kia. And it's been running me for years. Like I probably bought that thing like 4 years ago. That thing's still driving. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good car. It get me where I need to go. Point A, point B. Point A, point B kind of car. You need a point A, point B kind of car. Maybe like a little C on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? But that's another. But, get yourself a nice little car. Get you where you need to go. You don't need to be getting wrapped up in all these car insurance. You see your friends with their nice, expensive cars. They don't own them bitches. They tie down to this job they don't like. Like me, my car paid off. So if I want to quit my job right now and I got a little money saved up for car insurance every month, I can do that. My car paid off. I don't got to worry about no, you know what I'm saying? I don't got to worry about no gas. I don't got to worry about none of that. 'Cause I got a little money in my pocket. I got a little bit of coin in my pocket. So yeah, that's how you want to be. That's how you want to be moving. You don't want to be tied down. Like those are 3 big expenses though. So if you even want to get involved with cars, just know off top, you're going to need that insurance, $350 a month. That's off top. Off top, boy. And then that car note, if you want to get a nice little expensive car, just to show off or whatever, that's another $350 off top. If you don't got no good credit score. And then gas gonna be $100 off top if you want to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You got to get gas, so non-negotiable. But yeah, last segment is my car journey. So I'm not gonna wrap y'all out too much, but I'm gonna give y'all a little spiel, like what it was like to become like from pro to rookie, like rookie to pro. So for me, it all started back in 2018. It all started back in 2018, where that summer I literally studied my manual like a Hebrew monk. I was studying my manual like a Hebrew monk religiously. I would study that driving manual like my life depended on it, like Jesus was coming and I needed to know the scriptures before he got here. Like that was literally all I did every day, every day. After that, the next thing was just freaking taking that test. I had all my papers, I had my birth certificate, everything I needed. I read the instructions, I scheduled my appointment myself. I did all that stuff myself. I went up there, had all my paperwork ready same day. And then I think I had my dad go with me because I needed a legal guardian. So like when I went with my grandma, she wasn't able to sign for me. So my dad ended up taking me because at the time my peoples was sick. My mom was sick. So something that told me like, if my mom's down right now, they're gonna need another driver in the family. So like, cause my brother was young and my older brother was young, so I took it upon myself to learn how to drive so that I could help the family. You know what I'm saying? Cause like as a middle child or whatever, I just love putting stuff on my shoulders. I don't know why. I got big shoulders, so like I'm the big guy. Like I just love putting stuff on my shoulders. So I took it upon myself to learn because I was like, we need it. So we need another driver in the house. My people were sick. So after that, I went to the NBA, took my test, bombed it, 20 questions, easy money. Then from there, I had my learners, but I was like, all right, how am I going to get these sessions in? I used to harass my dad every day to this day. To this day. I used to harass this man every day. I'm like, Dad, we got to go driving. I remember when I was in high school, I had a half day. So this man would pick me up during his lunch break because his job just happened, by the grace of God, his job just happened to be near my school. So he was able to pick me up during his lunch break and take me to the house. But when he would pick me up, I used to press him out just like how my brother pressed me out. And I used to stand in front of his car and be like, get the fuck out the seat. Let me drive right now. Like, and as like an adult, or this is a little bit of advice for new drivers, if the adult sees that you have confidence, they'll be more likely to let you drive their car. So like for me to press him out and tell him to get out his car so I could drive showed that I had confidence in my driving abilities. And for him, a confident driver is a safe driver. You can't be no anxious ass driver, because if you're an anxious ass driver, you ain't gonna be driving me nowhere. Hell no. You gotta be confident as hell. You gotta be confident in your abilities. You gotta be strong with the will, and you gotta give me point A, point B safely. All right? It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. It's not like literally. Come on, I'm trying to tell y'all. So then after that, taking me home, that just got me right. Like that really got me real right. And then from there, I think the driving school really got me right too. If you live in the DMV, Arrive Alive get you right. I had this Asian man, he taught me real good, and this black guy taught me real good. And it's weird because like they have like these little brake pads in their car, so like when they're giving you practice driving skills and stuff, they'll like brake, excuse me, just burp. They'll brake for you, and like that's the weirdest thing or whatever. You'll get used to it eventually, but Arrive Alive, shout out to them. They got me right. And then from there, my dad had took me to the MVA for my driving test. I failed this test like 6 times. I failed my driver's test like 6 times. Because they going to catch you on every little thing. I'm trying to tell y'all, young kids, they're going to catch you on every little thing. Like when you come into the MVA, they're going to have a stop sign right here. So they're going to be like, all right, let's start the test. If you don't stop for that first stop sign that's right here, like as soon as you come in, that's how they trick you. Because you're thinking like, oh, that stop sign not for us because the car's already parked. Stop for everything. Stop for any sign. Stop for it. Wait about 5 seconds. Because if you stop and you don't see no car and go, they're going to consider that a rolling stop. So you got to wait for like 5 seconds. Like really stop that hoe and just look and then go. The hoe is the car. But yeah, so after that or whatever, when I failed one time because it was raining. So I couldn't see my dad's back camera. So that was like, fuck. And then this one time I failed because I literally had the car straightened and ready to park it. Like I 3-point turn and I was ready to back it in. And as soon as I was getting ready to back it in, the lady was like, stop the car. You've run out of time. I was like, I just got it straight. Like, that hurt my soul to this day. Because I already knew how to drive. Like driving on the road was easy. Like that was not an issue for me. Driving on the road was a piece of cake. But it was like the little stuff. They used to fry me, bro. I swear. But besides that or whatever, driving's cool. Like, it's very easy. You know what I'm saying? These have been my pros and cons and pet peeves and dislikes and likes of driving. After I passed my driving test, I felt like a boss. I felt like the king of the world. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as hard as it, if you need any advice, contact me, Mikkel16 underscore. This has been the podcast. This has been the episode. Let me know in the comments how you guys think of this episode. Let me know if you have your license or if you're in the situation where you're learning how to drive. Let me know that in the comments. If you have any questions about driving, any skill questions, 'cause I'm a pro driver now. I be whipping that who holds the car, but I be whipping that who. So like, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Mikkel Vlogs, that's the name of the YouTube. I love you guys. I can't wait to come back for another amazing podcast next Tuesday. I have to do a lot of edits, so it's going to be annoying, but it's whatever. So I'm like, start editing this thing so I can get this out to y'all today. Love you. Tee hee.